What's up, everyone? Janitor Jake here. Now see, there is one thing that really irritates the ever-loving snot out of me. Okay? And that one thing is video streaming services. Now see, back when I was a teenager, we used to have cable television. And as the years progressed on and we started seeing things like YouTube and Netflix, all of a sudden, everyone out in the world started saying, oh, you better cut that cable line, oh, snip, 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 start cutting the cable, start cutting out your cable. And why is that? Well, basically, here's the reason. The main reason for it was because we were paying too much for a few good shows that we liked, and then a whole bunch of hogwashy garbage that we did not like. So by getting something like Netflix, you could watch what you want, whenever you wanted, however you wanted, for a cheaper price. However, one of the problems is that these streaming services started turning into cable companies. Now see, when I was a little dude back in the late 1980s and early 1990s, we had pretty basic television that only consisted of 4 channels. And those channels were ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS. And my favorite things to watch were Saturday morning cartoons and TGIF. Yeah, you remember those, right? Especially TGIF. I remember being back in elementary school, me and my friends would sit there and yak about how much we could not wait to go home and watch TGIF. And then finally I would get home and I'd go walking into the door, and then my mom would sit there and be like, oh, you better get ready because Dinosaurs is coming on, and I would be like, oh my gosh, Dinosaurs, not the mama, not the mama, not the mama. Yeah, you guys remember Not the Mama, right? Not the mama, not the mama. Ah! And I would completely freak out because I could not wait to watch Dinosaurs. I just love it how simple television was way back in the day. Now here's the issue. If you missed, like, let's say an episode of Dinosaurs, well, that was just too doggone bad. You would have to wait an entire week before you were able to watch another episode of Dinosaurs. Now you might get lucky and maybe in the middle of the week on like a Wednesday or something they would, I guess, rerun an episode. But that's if you were lucky and you were able to catch it. Otherwise, you were screwed. You just had to wait. And to be honest, it made it kind of nice and it made it feel very special. Now the nice thing about streaming is that you can watch all your favorite shows like Doug and Rugrats and stuff like that whenever you want and wherever you want. But the big issue for me is when they take shows and movies away. I decided to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe in order of release. However, Netflix didn't have everything, so we decided to get Disney+. And the first issue that I ran into was that Disney Plus had no Incredible Hulk. So, okay, well, let's check Netflix. Is it on there? No, of course not. Okay, how about Hulu? No. Okay, how about Tubi, Crackle, Pluto TV? Nope. Just a big bunch of too bad, tough, can't watch it, no, buck. You know, they even pulled that same kind of nonsense with Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, it actually used to be on Netflix, however they decided, but no, let's just take it off. And that's the problem too, is you figure Disney Plus would have it, but no, because of stupid copyright issues with this ignorant company by the name of Sony, they can't have the rights to show Spider-Man Homecoming. Another thing that really grinded my goose was that they had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but they did not have Volume 1. Stupid stuff like that really irritates the heck out of me. Why would you get the sequel, but you don't have the previous films? It'd be like getting Back to the Future 3, but not having 2 and not having 1. Stupid stuff like that just really irritates me beyond belief. Put in the previous films, you idiots. Another big issue I had was trying to watch Twin Peaks. Now they had Twin Peaks The Return, however, the original Twin Peaks was not available to watch. So of course that kind of irritated me. However, after a while I ended up seeing, oh cool, the original show of Twin Peaks is on. So we decided to sit down and watch it and marathon the sucker. And we did, and everything was fine, everything was good. However, by the time I got to the end of the original series of Twin Peaks, guess what? Can you guess? Can you figure it out? Do you think you know what I'm going to talk about? Yeah, exactly. They took Twin Peaks: The Return off! Now I can't seem to find it. Irritating. So then I go and I decide, oh, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll check Hulu. So then I go and I check Hulu. And then it showed me this. Showtime? Oh, I see what you're doing now. Now you're going out and teaming out with other companies so you can make more scratch. Now, one thing I haven't even mentioned yet was Amazon Prime. If you want to watch movies and TV shows and stuff, you have to create an Amazon Prime account, and yes, you have to pay for it. So we decided to get an Amazon Prime account so we can watch certain movies and shows that are not on Hulu or Netflix or this or that. And so after we got that, everything seemed to be okay. Until we realized that you have to pay for some of these shows. What the heck are you doing? We are already paying for Amazon Prime. Now you want us to pay more to watch other weird shows and movies that you have? Give me a break. And that's probably the biggest issue that I have, is that these streaming services are turning into cable companies. Let me give you a little bit of an illustration here. See, back in the day, Netflix used to have almost absolutely everything, and it was only a fraction of the price of cable television, which made it absolutely awesome. However, this nonsense started to occur. All of a sudden, it seemed like shows were splitting off as other different streaming services started to become available. So then shows started to split off and go off to stuff like Hulu, or Disney Plus, or Vudu, or Amazon Prime. So as Netflix begins to lose different shows and movies, it still costs the same. And now you have to go and pay more to get access to those other shows and movies that you want to watch. Which kind of reminds me of something. You know, what does that kind of remind me of? What is it kind of, you have to go and pay for things? Oh yeah, that's right, cable television! Imagine if Cinemassacre did that. You know, you go to the Cinemassacre website and you can watch stuff like retail reviews, rental reviews, The Angry Video Game Nerd, Monster Madness, and stuff like that. Right? That's pretty cool. Now imagine if they all separated out and went into their own separate entities, and you had to pay for each and every single one of those. Of course, Cinemassacre is awesome, and he doesn't charge for any of that. But that is basically what Netflix and Hulu and all these other companies are doing. They talked about being the alternative to cable, and yet they go and they start doing the same garbage that the cable companies do. You know what? And here's the thing. You know what I personally would love? I would love if we went back to the simplistic nature of television back in like the late 80s and early 90s. Yeah, you know how awesome that would be? Only having 4 channels. And you know what? Screw it. Let's go back to watching things on VHS. I'm dead serious, too. Let's go back to watching VHS and stuff like that. Yeah, there you go. Go watch the new Avengers movie on VHS. The funny thing about that is it would actually boost up video rental stores again, so stuff like Blockbuster and all these small mom and pop shops would come out, and that would be absolutely awesome. However, I do understand that people don't want to collect movies and stuff like that, otherwise you end up with a big giant VHS collection like I got, which takes up way too much space and is completely ridiculous. So I guess to boil it back down, like I said, there are 2 main issues I have. Number 1 is that they like to put good movies on there, and then by the time I'm ready to watch the stupid things, they take them away. And I can't find them anywhere. I now have to go and pay for it. It's like I'm already paying for Netflix, I'm paying for Hulu, I'm paying for Disney Plus, I'm paying for Amazon Prime. You would figure this movie would be scattered somewhere out there. And it's not. It's not. And another thing, too, is that you have free streaming services like Tubi TV or Crackle and Pluto TV. But like I said, with these big, awesome movies that all of a sudden you see come out on Netflix, it's like, well, you better watch it right now. Well, you just better watch it right now. Or what? Do I have to bootleg it? Do I have to put in a VHS tape in my VCR and record the stupid thing? Ah, it's ridiculous. That really ticks me off. And the second thing, like I said, is that they are turning into cable companies. The whole idea behind these streaming services was that you were paying too much money for cable. So hey, guess what? Here's all this stuff boiled down into one nice little neat little package. You can watch it whenever you want, however you want, wherever you want, for a fraction of the cost. and then they turn around and start going off and creating other streaming services and shooting stuff all over the place. And now you got to pay for Netflix, Hulu, all this other junk, and it's turning into cable. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to skedaddle. So whatever. I'm Janitor Jake, and I will see you guys next time.